All right, there we go. All right, so the discussion for this evening, we're going to be dealing with exoteric versus esoteric. Exoteric essentially is outer knowledge. What occurred thousands of years ago was the priesthoods in different various countries, civilizations, places like that. What they did was they filtered out or watered down the spiritual mysteries, the mysteries that were taught within the temples and taught within the pyramids, things of that nature. When they filtered it down, they started to figure out ways they could use it to control the masses. How do you control the masses? How do you keep their minds distracted enough where they don't seek to overthrow the priesthood? They don't seek to overthrow the powers that be. So they created, from these spiritual mysteries, they created what became known as religion. Religion is nothing more than watered down spiritual mysteries. So it's got a basis in truths, spiritual truths, okay? It has a basis in there, which is what draws people and it's what captivates people. It's what brings them in, and people give their full belief to it. But most of that shit is not real. And the reason why is because if I want to control people and I want to enslave them and make them follow and not question, then I have to create an idea that's strong enough where people believe in something outside of themselves, something that could give them salvation, something that will help them. And that authority figure that I create has to be so strong that the fear of questioning cripples me. So I'll accept everything and anything that is told to me and follow along with everything they teach me. This is what became exoteric knowledge, outer knowledge that is for the masses. Even some of the spiritual truths that people have, some of the spiritual secrets they have, is still a part of that exoteric knowledge. Long ago, when the mystery schools were being set up, they realized that people, when they received the truth, it would harm them more than help them. Not all people, but for a large part of people would not be able to bear spiritual truths that are taught within these mystery schools. Therefore, it would be best to not reveal these things. So give them something, though, that they can believe in, something that they feel that is going to make them a better person, something that they feel is helping them and answering their prayers. Utterly, that became exoteric knowledge. Within those exoteric knowledge, within these religions, you have spiritual schools or a level of mystery schools within these religions. For example, in the Hebrew school, okay, if you go into the Bible, if you go into the book of Hebrews, it speaks about Melchizedek. It refers to the order of Melchizedek, and this would be considered one of the mystery schools of the Hebraic teachings. If you go into the mystery schools of Islam, it'd be the Sufis. And you could go on and on with a lot of these exoteric religions, right-hand path religions. It's even to the point that within these right-hand path religions, you have right-hand path witchcraft. Wiccans, for example, is more a religion than it is a witchcraft system. People may get upset, they may get, sad when they hear that, but it's more of a religion than it is really working the witchcraft in the basis of you being the determining factor. A lot of times in Wiccan, they worship the goddess. Everything's about the goddess, the goddess, the goddess, and everything is about worship. That's essentially exoteric. It always makes you feel like I need something or someone to provide an answer for me that is already within myself. This has trickled down throughout witchcraft, and even in the occult. You have your right-hand path, and then you have your left-hand path. In the occult, you have many people who still want to work with fairies, and they want to work with gods and goddesses, and they want to work with all these things, but they're doing it in an external sense, in an exoteric sense. They're doing it outside of themselves. Yet they fail to realize their true potential and power. Whereas esoteric or esoteric is inner knowledge. It's the inner mysteries, the inner sciences, the inner spiritual truths of how to become a god. For example, in the mystery schools of Kemet, one of your greatest initiations was when you were brought through the temple and the high priest asked you, are you ready to meet what you consider to be the most powerful being in the universe? Are you ready to meet God? Being that a lot of initiates still came from an exoteric mindset, they're still associating the question with literal God, whether it's Ra, whether it's Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah, it doesn't matter. It's still externalized. So the priest says, okay, you should answer, yes, I'm ready. You go through the initiation. There's certain things you do initiation. There's certain questions you're asked to see if you're really ready. These questions, a lot of the answers were revealed to you through dreams. They were revealed to you during rituals and altered states of consciousness. So they're checking if you could retain this in your mind and be able to answer questions like, what's the password to gain entrance into the temple? If you're not able to retain this knowledge through your dreams or through your ritual work, and then you were simply shooed out of the temple. You were told that you're not ready and come back when you're ready, or you may never be asked back again. That happened quite often. Individuals were unable to reach deeper into their subconscious mind to be able to withdraw that information when necessary. But for those who did, there was various rituals that they had to do. Some of them took place in the Black Lake, where there was crocodiles in the Black Lake, and you had to swim to the bottom of the Black Lake and retrieve a crystal that was at the bottom. So you had to be in control of your vibrations, your frequencies. You had to overcome your fears, everything else, in order to swim your ass right by the crocodiles, grab that shit, and come back up. That means there was a lot of work that took place on the self, mastering the self, so that you could be in total control and in total harmony with the self, so that these predatory creatures that are in the water don't see you as food. Well, another ritual is, like I said, to see the most powerful being in the universe. Are you ready? So most people will associate that with a God. However, as you went through and you went through all the various questions and answers and the different psychodramas within that ritual in the temple, you eventually were sat down in the Holy of Holies, or the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is the most holy part of the temple. And there was usually a long veil that was in front of you. And the question was, you will now meet the most powerful being in the universe. Are you ready? Yes, 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 I'm ready. I'm ready. The veil's withdrawn. So your mind, if you're still of that exoteric mindset, which unfortunately most people are, the veil was still there. As it moves across, if your mind is still of that exoteric nature, you are really convinced that you're going to see some God when the veil's drawn across. Well, what happened was when the veil was drawn across, a big mirror was there in front of you. A big ass mirror was there in front of you, and you see your reflection. And the high priest says, you have now met the most powerful being in the universe. Initiates who are still totally not of that consciousness are going to be confused. Huh? What? Am I supposed to see something in the mirror? Am I supposed to see past my own reflection? Am I supposed to see some God? And the high priest again says, you are looking at the most powerful being in the universe. What? Huh? Yes. The most powerful being in the universe is yourself. That is what the ultimate mystery is, and the ultimate truth of an esoteric initiations are across most spiritual orders or systems, especially on the left-hand path. Why is that important? It's important because, unfortunately, you do have many people who come into the left-hand path still holding on to the right-hand path traditions, right-hand path mysteries, spiritual beliefs, all these things that they think they have mastered and grasped, and they're bringing it here. So when that is presented to themselves, they see a reflection, they're shocked because they're seeing themselves, and what they thought they were going to see was something completely different. For the veil unmasks the faults or falsities that we've been taught. There is no God outside of you. You are the most powerful God, and that is the esoteric truth. You are the most powerful being in the universe because you are what created your own universe within the multiverses. You are the creator of your present day existence. Ain't no God created this shit. Period. You created your life. You created the goods, the bads, the uglies, and the beautifuls of your life. The happiness and the misery. You created all of it. Because your mind is of the most potent mind in all creation. We've forgotten that we are our own creators and our own gods, our own demons. We've forgotten that we come from the void and that we are primordial beings. Therefore, I brought myself into existence from the void. Well, what do you mean? How so? Well, what is the void? The void is a concept that is considered to be nothingness. Brother Beniti spoke about this recently too, so I'll just go over some of that. The void is nothingness, but don't get it twisted and get the idea of nothing being nothing. Nothing is also abbreviated to a number of a thing. N-O period thing. Nothing. A number of a thing. What does that mean? It's a subatomic existence. It's a subatomic existence, or as quantum existence. It is beyond the atomic world or the existence that we are familiar with. So in the primordial void, the primordial womb of the dragon is nothingness that is subatomic and therefore cannot be calculated as existence to what we commonly associate with existence. It is an existence that is on the other side of what we would calculate to be existence, meaning we calculate existence from the first element to the 100 and, well, what are we up to now? 118 or more elements. But existence in reality, according to quantum, is also existing on the other side of the periodic table, or the periodic elements, which are 100, I think 8 to 118 now, because they keep finding new ones. So it's on the other side. The other side is the void. The other side is where your demons exist. It's where you come from. It is where you came from a number of a thing, nothing, and summed up to something, some, S-U-M, thing. You summed up to something based upon the periodic table or the elements. You summed up to become what you are today. You created yourself from the subatomic to the atomic world. You became existence on this side. From the esoteric, the void, to the exoteric, the physical existence, the outer world, the objective world. This is your existence today. Therefore, you are a demon. Therefore, you are before God. You are before Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah. You are before Risha and all these things. Because your primordial existence comes from the womb of the dragon, Tiamat, Leviathan, Tanin, on and on and on. You were there when the Bible used some of those mysteries to mystify you. When it says, and the Spirit of God move across the face of the deep, how the hell do you know if the Spirit of God is moving across the face of the deep unless you are in the deep looking up, seeing something move across the face of the deep? You had to be in the deep. You had to be in the abyss of the ocean, looking up, saying, what the hell is that moving across here? You were here already before some so-called God was here, creating life, as they say, in the Bible. But how is it God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and then the Spirit of God moved across the face of the deep? Wait, where the fuck was the deep at? The deep was there before. I mean, how is this so? If God just created the heaven and the earth, how's the Spirit of God moving across the face of the deep? He hadn't created that. Earth is tierra, or terra, land in Latin. Okay? In Sumerian, it's Eridu, is one name for it. So, and it all associates with back to the land. But the ocean or the waters was here. Tiamat, the maiden of life, was here in the waters. So you are existing prior, you're in the void existing prior to some God coming. That's what would be considered your esoteric creation. You are before the life that is today. You are before what you created yourself to be today. You are the demons of the primordial womb. You are from the subatomic realm. And therefore, when you create today, you're creating from subatomic, which would be your what? Dark energy, dark matter, which people, they're starting to figure out through science more and more, which we already knew this in the mysteries. Your mind actually uses dark matter, dark energy and dark matter to create life today on this side of existence, which is the atomic existence. You're actually creating from that existence by the power of your mind. The problem is if your mind is separated, chopped up into externalizing, exoteric, and not esoteric or internalizing, then it's more difficult to create. Because if you're separated within yourself and you don't understand that everything you do in creation comes from the esoteric or the inner world, the inner truth, the inner mysteries, it comes from within you and not the other way around, then that's why we've lost the ability to create. That's why some of us still can't figure out how these things are happening to us in our life, because we're lost the ability to go within the self to understand the inner mysteries on how you actually create your life, how you actually create events, how you actually are Bilal. These primordial gods, as they say. You actually are that. You just forgot. You just forgot. So you still externalize it and you still call out to Bilal, hail Bilal, as if you're not talking to yourself. When in truth, you are talking to yourself. If you are, in fact, from the primordial womb, if you're from the void, or the black sun that exploded and the demons came and germinated life across the solar system, universe, and multiverses, then what the hell can you not do? What can you not accomplish when in fact you are subatomic in creation? You are the nothingness that created something. You are that which creates. But we forgot because we still want to look from an exoteric mindset. We still want to look and forget that we were here before the Spirit of God moved across the face of the deep. You were here already. We want to look at life still waiting for something to happen, still waiting for something to be done for us and not doing it ourselves. I don't care how many rituals you do. If you don't do something for yourself after the ritual, you still are waiting for something to happen. And unfortunately, a lot of my witches, especially the newbie witches, still waiting for shit to happen. You're forgetting about the action. You're forgetting about taking the steps in this existence that you're presently occupying in this side of the atomic. You forgetting about that and forgetting that you are the clay master. You shape and mold existence through the power of your mind. You are like that clay master who takes dark energy and dark matter to create the atomic realm and manifest it into a physical reality. You forgot the power that is within you. But the problem is we still forget on the left-hand path, people still forget One of the main purposes of the left-hand path, one of the first things I learned years ago was you are an individuated consciousness. You are Set. Set represents that individuated consciousness where he tore himself from his mother, Tefnut, and brought himself into existence. He tore himself out of the womb. That is symbolic of tearing yourself away from the human construct of beliefs, of rules and regulations of what life is or isn't. Set pulled and tore himself out of that to become an individual, to separate himself from this so-called universe, which is just one out of many, therefore multiverses. And we are living in a universe that is a holographic projection of someone else's bullshit. And Set realized that, so he said, I'm pulling myself away from that and creating my own universe within the multiverses that exist. You all have the power to create your own universe when you start tearing yourself like Set, tearing yourself from the womb of the illusions that we live in. The illusions that we accept that limits our power. The first basis I learned on the left-hand path was you're supposed to work to separate yourself from this universe. But you can't do it if you still have the right-hand path mentality, because the right-hand path still wants to say, oh my God, how can you tear yourself from the universe? My God, the universe provides. The universe answers my prayers. The universe, what? You just made the universe God. That's the new thing by these occult fools. And the ones I call fools are the ones who still using that philosophy. The universe answers my prayers. The universe provides. The universe tests me. Nigga, you are the universe. You testing yourself. Ain't no universe doing shit. Because if you say the universe doing that, you're separating yourself again. Therefore, if you're separating yourself and there's this universe, then where are you in the universe? Oh, that means you're a lowly subject. Oh, that means you're just a being in existence within the universe. It's a damn shame. But this is how people process life, because they still can't fathom the void. They still can't fathom nothingness, because they always have to have an attachment to something outside of themselves. I don't give a damn what it is. People always need something. Some way, somehow, they always find a way to worship something. If they don't worship, then they have vices that they're stuck on. They can't get rid of their vices. No one told you to get rid of your vices. What you should be doing with your vices is learning how to control them, not letting your vices control you. Because your vices are part of experiences you need. That's what your true self or your demonic self is using these vices for you to gain experiences. But the problem is you are a slave to your vices. You're not the master over the vices. So how can you be left-hand path and you still don't get the fact that you are achieving greater heights by separating yourself from the universe, becoming an individuated consciousness, meaning your own consciousness, your own universe within the multiverses, to eventually separate yourself from the multiverses too. Yes, it seems impossible because we limit the grandeur. We limit ourselves of what we can do, how grand we could become. So we create delusions of grandeur as if I'm Tahuti and you're not. You're who you are, and you have the ability to be even greater than Tahuti. Hush my mouth. That's what people will tell you. No, Tahuti was this. You still don't get it then. If you still giving homage to Tahuti as if he was more powerful than you, you don't get the fact you have that same potential and even greater than Tahuti. But no, this is why Set is probably the most feared and hated of many of the Neturu in Kemet, and a lot of these Kemetic fools and these Cometians and all whatever they want to call themselves, Tamarans and everything else. Because he's the least understood, because most of the world's population are followers. Most of the world's population do not think for themselves. Therefore, they cannot fathom how can Set tear himself away from his mama. That's such an evil act. Stop it. You're thinking like a religious fool. Most people, when they go into Kemet, I said most, not all. Most people, when they go into Kemet, still bringing religious mentality into it. They're still looking at it from a Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, Buddhist, whatever mindset. They still don't understand the esoteric truth, the esoteric truth. They don't understand. It's all about the inner world. You are creating from inside you. Why wouldn't you tear yourself from this universe? Why wouldn't you tear yourself from this existence and create your existence as you see fit? Everybody has the power to create their experiences, but most of the time, I'm gonna be honest with you, most of the time people wait for experiences to happen. They don't create it. They have a problem creating their own experiences, as if they're waiting for some god, some demon to do it for them. People in the left-hand path are not an exception either, because some of us in the left-hand path, we're still waiting. Some of us still want to pray on the left-hand path. I don't care if you want to pray to Lilith. That's your prerogative. That's your choice. I don't care if you want to pray to Samael. That's your prerogative, your choice. But if you understand one of the first principles in the left-hand path, especially when you go back to one of the first archetypes on the left-hand path, which is Set, it's about individuated consciousness and tearing yourself away from this human construct and this universe you exist, separating from the universe. How the fuck am I praying to something and I'm still claiming left-hand path? You might as well stay Christian. For all that, you might as well stay Christian. Oh, well, I'm praying. This is what some people have told me before. I'm praying because I'm acknowledging the Lilith in me. That's not prayer, God damn it. That's an affirmation. You're affirming that which is you. Prayer is verbal, is verbiage. It's constantly talking, communicating to something outside of yourself, acknowledging something outside of yourself. It's not acknowledging who you are. It's always external communication. There's people on the left-hand path who still pray, do all that. I look at them still like, God damn, I don't care if you've been here 20 years longer than me. That shit has nothing to do with it. Nothing. What it has to do is how much you're dedicated to this, how passionate you are, how much you study, where you start to reveal these mysteries within yourself, that you start to get a certain understanding. Like, some of these people on the left-hand path are still religious. Sorry, but you are. Because I'm not praying to shit. When I do my rituals, I don't do the ritual saying, oh, hail Lucifer. How great art thou who's fallen from heaven. The son of the morning star. You're so great, magnificent. Nah. Many times when I do my ritual, I personalize that shit and say, oh, hail Lucifer, myself, for I have fallen and once again been risen. I am the son of the morning star, for I possess the power. This is how I do my shit. I don't do it as it's written. I always personalize it and put myself and always internalize that which I'm invoking. Because when you invoke, you're taking that within yourself. So if you're taking it within yourself, why are you still separating it? And then you're still like saying, Lucifer, I invoke you within. Well, you're still separating it. I don't give a damn how long you've been on this path. This is what people don't understand. I don't care. There comes a point that if you really truly understand what this left-hand path represents, before, and I mean before it's been more modernized philosophy of the left-hand path, or if you go more towards the ancient philosophies, considering that a lot of it came from Kemet in India, you'll start to get it. You'll start to say, wait a second, these people were not trying to worship shit. Gods of Egypt, yes, it was watered down. Yes, it was whitewashed. Yes, they could have had more diversity in it. I don't look at it for that. I look at it for what the story was, what they were showing in the story. The person who created the story for Gods of Egypt understood Set. Yeah, of course, they had to fight and they had to do the whole traditional Kemetic understanding and acceptance that they fought and Horus and all that bullshit. They understand. But if you really see the parts where Set is just devouring the guys, taking their powers off for himself, that's what you should be doing. Each and every one of us should not be asking for anything. You should be taking what is rightfully yours. But unfortunately, a lot of people still feel like they have to ask. That's the problem. That's a weakness. That's a weakness that is rooted in people. That I have to ask for your forgiveness. I'm not asking for no one's forgiveness. And I don't believe in forgiveness. People ask me that all the time. I don't care. I don't believe in forgiveness. Let me explain to you why. Before you committed the act, you already knew what you were going to do. So how are you going to ask me to forgive you for an act you already knew and had premeditated what you were going to do? Nah. I don't forgive and I don't forget. And I tell people that all the time. I don't forgive and I don't forget. This is not no fucking morality, traditional morality, human morality crap that we've been taught. I don't forgive and I don't forget. Once you cross that line, you best believe I will keep you as an enemy really close, but you best believe there's some shit behind the scenes that's going down. You may not even see it happening. And when you start to understand these realities, that these moralities is what's making us weak. These moralities is what cripples us. You start to become like Set and start to attack and destroy each and every one of those things. And I'm wondering, like when I'm speaking to y'all, why is Set keep coming out? And I forgot 2 days ago I did a ritual with Set. Now I understand, because Set is the first shit I ever worked with on the left-hand path through vampiric magic. And every time I work with Set, that motherfucker warrior shit comes out of me. Because it is me. I understand that principle of Set, that warrior energy is me, period. I'm not looking at a Set, oh, look at Set. Yeah, look at Set. Yeah, I'm looking at Set outside of me. No, I'm Set. But I'm not delusional to think I'm Set. You understand? I have certain principles and traits that are like Set. So in that respect, yes, I possess those powers, attributes, and characteristics of Set. But I'm my own person. I have my sacred name that I earned through initiations and temples. I know that power works with me because I am that power, and all of us are that as well. We are these amazing characters or archetypes that we've long forgotten about within ourselves. Is it a wonder why most of the world shits on set? Why most of the world wants to bury set and forget about set, Satuch, Satesh, C-Tech? But it seems like in the last 10 years, set's teachings have arisen and become more accepted and popular again. Is it any wonder why that's happening? Is a shift in consciousness that's always taking place. If you tuned in, you see that. Not these fluffy shifts in consciousness that these, those people, the conscious community people, always talking about that never seems to happen. But the real shift in consciousness coming from the primordial, coming from the womb of the dragon. That shift is occurring because the shift is taking place within the planet. The womb, Tiamat, is shifting within the core of the planet, and the vibrations, frequencies are coming out. And those who are in tune with the left-hand path, particularly the draconian current and those demonic currents, are shifting in consciousness along with it. You have been realigning yourselves without even realizing it, because the ritual work is doing that realigning for you. But now it's time to it's time to go to another level and start to understand when I do these rituals, I have to do these rituals from a different mindset. Notice mindset, anyways. I have to do it from a different mindset, as not just to perform the ritual, not just to take classes, but the mindset of I'm taking my power back. And I'm going to go to Beniti. I'm going to go to E.A. Coetti. I'm going to go to D.H. Thorne. I'm going to go to Thomas Leroy. I'm going to go to Asenath Mason. I'm going to go to Raven. I'm going to go to anybody, Ravana, anybody who can give me some insight. I'm activating my own powers. I'm going to devour that shit. I'm going to take that shit. I'm going to be a vampire, and I'm going to take and devour all that shit that is mine. I'm going to take my power back from all the people I gave it to. That's when you start to fill yourself back up. That's when you start to plant the seed of the vampire inside you. When you start taking your power back, when you start devouring your power that you gave away. Think back in your life, how many people you've given your power, whether it's mental power, emotional power, sexual power. Think how many people you gave that shit away to who didn't deserve it. Start to take it back. I ain't telling you to go confront the people and have fights and arguments. No, as vampires, we do that on the astral realm. We don't need to do that in the physical realm, be like crazy savages doing some stuff. Now, if it gets there and you got to go to that level, then that happens sometimes. But the point is, we do that in the astral realm. As a vampire, you should be devouring all that energy you gave people. You should be taking that back. Stop feeding these forces that are hell-bent on enslaving you. That's all they want to do, is enslave you. Some of us have been in situations or relationships where your partner that you so much love, their whole objective was to make you their submissive slave, was to take you and literally devour you and make you a mindless, worshiping zombie of that person. That's what they want. Think back to your relationships. You will see this is not just women that this happened to. I know plenty of dudes who are women, like the movie Boomerang, where Robin Givens flipped it on Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy in the movie Boomerang was a master player. Well, guess what, homeboy? She was more of the master because she flipped it on him. And this dude who never caught feelings caught feelings. He was all mesmerized by her. And she didn't give two craps about this dude. She used him, manipulated him, played him. People, this happens quite often. Those people get your power back. That's the people you need to focus on because they did a number on you and they still got you off balance today. Get your power back. If you don't know or you're not quite sure, trust the Vampire Magic class that's going to start in January, sometime in the middle of January, hopefully, or the beginning or middle. You want to get into it. If you don't want to wait till January, you can get into it now as soon as you want. Because by the time part 2 hits, listen, part 1 is just elementary. Part 2 is on serious work on feeding, serious work on becoming immortal, serious work. This is no joke what we're going to do. Seriously, no joke. You will learn how to really feed off of people. You will learn how to really empower yourself and how to become immortal. Immortal in the physical while you're still here, translating into the mental. You will become potent and powerful. That's the purpose of what your direction should be. Becoming that powerful person, never allowing anyone to take from you again, unless you want to share something. There's nothing wrong with y'all sharing energies with each other if you're both on the same level. But if you get with these clowns, I'm going to be real with y'all. If you get with these clowns who are not on your same level, it can be more destructive to you than you think. Just because you're on the next level consciously, just because you think you're on some next level as a vampire, don't think that the person who seems to be vibrating on a lower frequency can't F you up. They can F you up. They will mess you up because they may have a power that is yet unseen by you and is hidden that may flip it on you and you become a little puppy, a little kitten just following your master everywhere and don't even realize how the heck this person with me like that. Because you thought you was the Don Juan. You thought you was the player. You thought, yeah, there's someone there. You could be highly conscious. They will flip it on you quick. That's the focus starts to shift when you start to understand exoteric and esoteric. Stop always externalizing. Stop giving your energy to frivolous things. People give their energy to things that are really silly sometimes. Who gives a damn if this person knows you or doesn't know you, doesn't like you? I don't give a damn about that person because, for one, I don't know them. For two, I never want to know them. And for three, keep playing and you'll find out what happens. You got to look differently at life because those are things that distract you and take your power away. People got caught up in the whole politics. Listen, we all have opinions on that. I don't get into that. Privately, I'll speak to people with that. Publicly, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to waste my time talking about that stuff. Because personally, at the end of the day, I got to survive regardless who's sitting in the chair or not. That's the reality. Okay? Whether I like the homeboy, I don't like him, whether I like her or don't like, that's irrelevant. I got to survive day to day. I got to make moves day to day, so it doesn't matter to me. Do you understand? That stuff matters to people who still don't get it. They don't get it because they're still thinking that my little vote or my little things can make a huge difference. Maybe a small difference, not a huge difference, a small difference. But that's the distraction of life. We get caught up in these little things, and then we celebrate in the streets as if the greatest victory occurred. But yet, a few months from now, when we're all on quarantine in this country again, because the people that are sitting there, watch how miserable people are going to be. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is the first step out of many steps to take you down a road of enslavement. But, sorry. Start looking at life from within yourself. Start realizing you are creating this. This experience that we're having right now, it's a simultaneous experience. You're here because you want to be here to gain something that may help you in your journey. And I'm sharing with you all at the same time. And there's this exchange of energy. So don't get that twisted either, because we all exchange energies with each other right now. That's the real reality. But this is an experience that we're agreeing to have. What about the experiences you don't agree to have? That's the ones you got to keep your focus from preventing from happening. Because those are the ones that are used to keep you in enslaved mindset. Be Lucifer. Stop worshiping Lucifer. Be Set. Stop worshiping Set. Be Lilith. Stop worshiping Lilith. When you do a ritual, and most of y'all created these rituals, they were very good. A lot of them were very good. When you do these rituals, the rituals should be all about you. Sure, you can invoke the energies, but that energy which you're invoking, taking within yourself, is already your energy, your power. You just forgot it. So it's like you're taking it back for yourself. Like, okay, I'm taking it back for me because this is already my power. It was already there. It's just forgotten. So if I invoke someone else, I'm taking my power back. That's it. I'm taking my power back. That's always been mine. Oh, you're disrespecting the spirits, the demons. Listen, cut that bullshit out. This is tradition. This is where tradition comes in and destroys the work you do on the left-hand path. What the hell are you so scared of? Oh, the spirit might spank me. The spirit might hurt me. Really? That means you give that much power to something outside of yourself where they can hurt you that much. Did you forget the first principle? The first point of power of a Luciferian? You are the only God that is. Did you forget that? So then if you're not forgetting that, then what are you talking about? What's the problem? What are you afraid of? Oh, the spirits might do. Really? Are you not the only God that is? So then what could possibly be done to you? Unless you let it be done to you. Nothing. And I mean nothing can be done to you unless you let it be done to you. You open the door for that. Therefore, anything that happened in a relationship, you allowed it to happen. If you got hurt, you open the door for that. Anything else, you allowed that and open the door for it. So you're just as responsible. Hard pill to swallow, but a true God takes responsibilities for everything in their life. Good, bad, ugly, and beautiful. Take that and go to sleep with that in your mind. Yeah, you are responsible for the bullshit you currently are in a relationship. Or was in a previous relationship. You're responsible for that. Stop blaming him or her, because you allowed everything that happened to happen. Yeah, but she did this. You allowed it. Stop saying he, she did this. You allowed that to happen. What are you not understanding? So if you say he, she did that, that means you were at their mercy, which means you again are giving them the power over you. It's that quick and easy to give the power to someone else, and we don't even realize it. Driving down the street, someone cuts you off. This motherfucker, you go on a road rage. Guess what? You just gave him the power. I speak about that personally because sometimes I find myself going to road rage. I'm getting a hell of a lot better. Before I literally get out the car and swing if I have to. I'm a hell of a lot better. Hell of a lot better. And I catch myself in the moment. I ain't giving this person my power like that. Screw this person. We got to start really shifting our mindset to that of Set. Set is the individuated consciousness, and we have to separate ourselves from this universe. You have to separate yourself from these human constructs. You have to separate yourself from these religious beliefs. You have to separate yourself from relationships that constantly hurt you. You got to figure out within yourself what is so weak about you that allows these same relationships to keep occurring in your life. What are you dependent on that you keep allowing these certain people into your life? Could be a different person, but they're the same archetypal person, same characteristics, same personalities, find their way into your life. And you keep allowing it into your life. What is it about you that allows that to happen? What is your weakness that keeps allowing those things to occur? See, if you have the mindset of Set, Satuh, Sitesh, you're going to quickly work on that because you're going to figure out that's a weakness, and Set didn't like having weaknesses. According to the myth, Set did a lot to overcome a lot of his weaknesses. Because he said, I'm gonna take over this thing in Egypt. I'm not gonna freaking play the games and bow down to Ra and this and I'm gonna be the master over all this. That's Set in a nutshell. Understand? You gotta keep working on mastering the self and separating yourself from these old human constructs, these, because they seep back in, they sneak back in very quickly. You're doing a ritual, it sneaks back in. You'll do the ritual and you'll start going from invoking to worshiping. It happens. You'll start going from doing invocations and evocations to doing prayers. Religion, sneaking back in. People cut these messes out. You are still allowing your mind to be controlled. Here's another example. When you, let's say, read some of these books from some authors on the left-hand path, and you find yourself doing everything and mostly everything they say, you just went from individuated consciousness to following again. That quick, that easy. I don't care who is the author. If a shit don't sit right with me, I'm not doing it. If it's a hail this and hail that, I'm not doing it. I'm going to flip that shit to hailing myself. I'm not going to do it just because it says it there. What do you think when I do these rituals, I'm doing it because I want you guys to do it like that? No, you guys are supposed to be questioning. Ravana, why does it say hail on here? Ravana, what? You should have been questioning a long time ago, y'all. Straight up. Because my job is to keep teaching left-hand path, the philosophy, to find ways to trigger thoughts and questions from you all so you could start to say, oh shit, I'm getting this for yourself. Why is Hail in there? Hail Lucifer. Why is it in there? You should have questioned that right away and said, nah, I ain't saying Hail shit. I'm going to say the power I possess as Lucifer is how you could rephrase Hail Lucifer. That's how you flip these things. Take that and you'll be stronger than ever. This is why the Sith and vampire magic are always so strong when I work with it. And what I get so passionate about when I teach those classes and the lessons that are created and stuff, because those two paths out of all the ones is about becoming immortal. It's about truly becoming your God. Luciferian is the same thing. Luciferian is about truly becoming your God. That's why those three constantly come out in my lectures. Because as a Sith, it ain't about worshiping Jack. And if you have a master as a Sith, what's the goal? The rule of two is you have a master who possesses the power and the knowledge, and you have an apprentice who craves the power and the knowledge. And eventually the apprentice is going to have to challenge the master to become the master, or always forever remain an apprentice or be defeated and destroyed. That's the Sith. I live by that. I love that because I challenge myself every day to get stronger, to get better, to get everything else. And when people come into the Sith and the Sith challenges, I'm just sitting there waiting for when people elevate through those challenges, who's going to be the first one? Who's going to be the first one to really be that apprentice who's really going to say, all right, I'm going to challenge him eventually, but I got to get there first. I love that shit. I eat it up. As a vampire, I love to travel in the astral realm and find my victims to put them under my spell for personal purposes in life that I need accomplished. Nothing wrong with enjoying these things. We get fruitified sometimes and we think the same right-hand path stuff, we bring it into here and, oh, I got to be such a nice guy and so divine. Why people don't get down with the Sith a lot? I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people on the left-hand path, if they really understood the Sith, why they would never get into it? Because it's crass, it's straightforward, and it's controversial, some of the practices the Sith do. People can't take that. They can't take that because the truth is and shall always be this. And I'm going to leave it like this. You will always have those with power and those without. You will always have masters and you will always have servants. Which one you choose to be, it's up to you. But that's how life is here, and that's how life is in this existence. It's predatory. You're either the predator or the prey. Get that. Going forward, get that, and you'll become a powerful person. That's the reality. That's why Sith and vampirism is like my babies, along with Luciferianism. But Sith and vampirism are really my babies because that's about my predatory instinct to be a master, to be a ruler over self. That's what it's all about. All right. Let's see if we got any questions here. Since it's quick, I mean, it's a small class, we should have a few questions and get through this. All right, Tunk Ray, any questions?
No questions. This was a good lecture, though. It had a lot of points that I needed to work on for myself. So thank you.
All right, appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Dawn, you next.
I know. I don't have any. Well, I'll email you about something, but I don't have it.
Sounds good. Just email me. Thank you, Dawn.
Welcome.
All right. Raphael. Any questions, brother?
No questions today, but it was a great presentation, though.
All right. Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Silent Star, any questions?
No questions, but I just wanted to say, it's funny, you'd always hear that saying, do you think you're the center of the universe? Does the universe revolve around you? That saying, and it's really funny because obviously now we realize, yes, it does. But how obviously all the programming before would make you feel guilty about being that center and being the one. And it's just like when we first started doing the rituals, how I would separate it a lot. And when you were, when we're doing the work with different archetypes, I found it's a little bit of a struggle to imagine, no, that is me. It's me that I'm talking about. It's not something else. And over time, that transformation where now it feels comfortable. Before I knew where I wanted to go, I knew how it should be, but there was that little bit of a struggle. Like I said, now every time, and just feeling that comfortable and knowing that, yes, this is me and confident in it and being accountable. I think that's the main thing with walking this path, is being accountable, truly accountable for everything, not blaming anything else, not putting it out. Yes, it's the universe, and yes, it's karma or whatever, it's fate. No, it's me. I've made that decision. And to own it and to truly own it. And so I no longer feel regret. I don't feel guilty about things. I don't blame. There's none of that. So it's, yeah. But no questions. But I just wanted to say that over time, the transitions that are happening with myself, just absolutely owning everything, and that accountability is a major thing for me. But thank you. But otherwise, no questions.
You're welcome. And listen, she's in the Sith class, so she's starting to get the flow of what it means to really be more in control, being the warrior, being the master over self. She's starting to really get that, because the Sith class, as opposed to the other, it's not just rituals. We'll do some eventually, but it's more challenges, challenging yourself. Can I do this? Can I accomplish this? Can I do this? I mean, it starts off easy. The first challenge is always easy, but that's the trick, to get you all comfortable. Oh, this is easy. Yeah, okay, sure, buddy. Then comes number 2, then comes number 3, and it gets a little harder, but it's always challenging how strong and powerful you really could be. See, what I've learned a lot on the left-hand path is, even though people could do this for years or a few months, people still are afraid to challenge themselves. That's the key, is challenging yourself. If you have a problem with social interaction, you just totally suck in a social setting, challenge yourself to be in a social setting. Don't run from it. Don't hide. Challenge yourself and say, you know what? I'm going to sit in this damn social setting and overcome whatever problems I have with it, overcome it. See, we challenge ourselves in this path, okay? In the left-hand path, we challenge ourselves. That's what we do. That's what we do. We challenge ourselves. And in the other classes, you really can't do that as much, because it's a different format. But Sith is challenging. Vampiric is challenging too, because there's certain work you got to do. You got to challenge yourself to overcome your shyness, your fears, or whatever other things there are. You got to constantly find a way to challenge yourself. If you don't, then you're going to find yourself going back into that lackadaisical, lazy mindset. Okay? And laziness breeds expectance. Okay? Expecting unrealistic expectations. I'm going to sit here, but I'm going to win the Powerball. No, you're not going to win the Powerball until you go play the game. Okay? Get a ticket. 212 million. I don't give a damn if you believe in the Powerball or not. If that's 212 million sitting there, some motherfucker going to win that shit. You better go play. Could be you. You never know. Depends on your mindset, right? It's all about your mindset. How you think is what you attract into your life. What you feel is what's going to attract to your life. If you feel like you ain't shit, guess what you're attracting into your life? People who ain't shit either. Okay. If you feel you're worthy and worth something, then that's the kind of people you draw into you. Okay. It's all about your mindset. That's where it all comes from. Believe that you're the best. Even if you ain't there yet, keep believing you're the best till it matches your inner and outer, and you'll start to manifest the best. Don't settle. Always go for the best. Oftentimes we settle for things just because it's right there. Okay, we settle for the female because the ass is fat and she's right there, but she's a straight psychopath. No, not happening. If you care about yourself, you best believe you control that part, right? Or the female may go and fall for the guy because he got cut up abs and he just, you know what I'm saying, he's just strong and all that, but that dude's a serial killer behind closed doors. Yeah, it happens. Right? How many stories have you heard of freaking woman marrying serial killers? I didn't know he was what? Well, you didn't pay attention because you were mystified by him. You didn't pay attention. How did you not know? Like, if you watch, I think the documentary is on Netflix or Amazon, where the wife of Ted Bundy literally didn't see this in him for years. All of a sudden, she sees this in him years later. Years later. It's too late by then. He done killed so many women. You understand what I'm saying? The point is, we got to start taking responsibility over self, challenging self, and breaking free from this external mentality of constantly worshiping, constantly giving, constantly feeding our energy to other people, constantly giving. When do you do for yourself? When do you take for yourself? A vampire is going to feed. They're not going to ask you permission. Oh, please let me feed off of you. Please cut it out. All right. First of all, if you ask somebody that, they'll probably be terrified and run from you. All right. And they'll think you're literally trying to feed off of their veins. Right? No, sorry. No, there is some who do that. That's their choice. Okay. But the point is, we don't ask. You just take. Do you know why social unrest will always occur? It's because people are seeking equality. That's the problem. You're trying to be equal to something or someone, and equality is the biggest lie. How many times I've gone over that? Darth Bane of the Sith went over that and broke that down various times. Equality is a lie. It's a perversion of the truth. You have those who are stronger and those who are not, and you will always have that. Simple. If you want to understand that, look at basketball. LeBron James is a head above everybody else, whether you like the dude or not. Personally, I don't like him because he's not on my team, of course. But LeBron is head above others in talent, right? If it was all equal, he would be equal to everybody else. That's not true. He's not equal. He dominates when he's on the court, right? He takes over when he's on the court. He's not going to ask, oh, let me score, right? Let me shoot. Let me do all these things. He's not going to ask you for that. LeBron's going to take it. He's going to take it and he's going to score, right? That's what he does. That shows you that equality is bullcrap. So social unrest constantly occurs because people are asking for racial equality. Stop asking. Take it. You can't ask someone for equality because that's like you saying you're more powerful than me. You're stronger than me. Are they really? No. The only power the powers that be have over you is that they have weapons of mass destruction. That's the fear that's in your head. Oh, I don't want to get blasted. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get all this stuff. So people hesitate. That's the fear that comes in because the fear of the powers that be is their inferiority complex, that they're really weak. They're really weak, so they need weapons of mass destruction to seem powerful. Do you understand? If I have military tanks and I can bring it down your hood, that's trying to show my power. But if you really met some of these powers that be, you probably whip their ass with one pinky. Honestly, you will whip these people's ass with one pinky. But they hide behind closed doors because they're really afraid of the power we possess as a people. But if you keep asking for equality, you're going to keep getting shafted up the butt without grease every time because you asking and not taking. Take your power back. Stop asking people for what is rightfully yours. No one can give you freedom. You are by birth born free. But we believe that we're not. And as long as your mind believes these things, you will always be incarcerated by the thoughts that are in your mind. So go in there and, like I share in other videos, empty out your bottle of BS. Empty it all out if you're going to walk a new path. Okay? Empty out all the right-hand path, all the conscious stuff you learned, and start fresh and new. Yes, it's scary because all these things that we learn, we want to hold on to them. Our conscious mind always wants to hold on to things because it's afraid of being empty, of nothingness to set in. So we hold on to it, and then we try to walk into certain things still holding on to it, and then it backfires or it confuses us. If you literally empty it all out and trust that your true self, your demonic self, is going to lead you the right way, you will then get all that you thought you knew but on a greater level, higher level. You'll start to see life differently. You'll start to see it from an adversarial path, and you'll start to reverse everything you were taught. You'll start to see, oh, really, this is how I was taught. But if you reverse it, you empower yourself because now you're reversing the flow and taking it back in and seeing it from a different mindset. All right, let me go to Demetrius. Oh, no, Demetrius just got here. Everybody just got here. So let me go to Mika. Been here a little longer than everybody else. So Mika, any questions?
No, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch the video.
All right, cool. Thank you. Let me see. Let me go to Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter, you there?
Yeah, yo, what's up?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I ain't got nothing.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right, Donnie, any questions? I know you came in recently, but any questions from what you heard so far?
No, I'm just trying to soak everything up right now.
All right, cool. Well, this is gonna be going up on YouTube because hold on. Shit, I muted you by mistake. My bad. Normally this just for Patreon, but today I said I'm opening it up for YouTube because I haven't done a video for YouTube in a minute with everybody here. So yeah, it'll be on YouTube, so you can watch it. As soon as we're done here, it takes about an hour to download. It'll be up. So just go back and watch that. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Instagram. Quickest way to get in touch with me is through Instagram if you're on there, or just email me. All right.
Okay, cool.
All right, cool. Demetrius, any questions? I know you just came in, but anything you caught in the last 10 minutes? Demetrius, okay, you there?
Greetings.
What's up?
Nothing much. Was running late today, so we're just from what I heard you speaking on. You were talking about the whole thing about the powers that be. Here's the deal with this, because you say people say that the system is bad, the system is evil, it's this and that. Actually, the system, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect as it is. It's like a lion. Is a lion wrong because it eats an antelope or a baby antelope or something? That's what a lion does. The system is designed to do exactly what it's doing. Mostly everything that we experience in this country, especially, is via contracts. We agree to it.
Yep.
And if you think about it, that's with anything in life, even our spiritual walk. We agree to some things or we don't agree to some things. Now, if you want to live your mundane life like that, then yeah, you'll really start to learn something about power and how things operate, because the system is actually perfect in its operation.
Yep.
On all levels. No matter how fucked up it seems, of course it seems fucked up. If you acquiesce to it, you deserve to get fucked up. They're supposed to do that to you.
Yep.
It's just like if you walked out into the Serengeti plain wearing a meat suit, you deserve to get wore out by them lions.
Yes, you do.
So even in your spiritual path, some people believe angels are all cool and good. Well, That's what you think until you start to really look at some things on a deeper level. So that's the whole premise behind Luciferianism and the left-hand path. Question everything. Start questioning things. Start asking, and it's for you. You know, I'm learning that more and more. It's for me because I try to talk to other people who try to talk to me about stuff. And let me tell you something. At the point that we're at right now in human evolution, there's a whole group of people, a very large group of people who are not interested in power. They don't want to evolve. They don't want to grow. They don't want to be responsible for shit. So you are best hanging out with your own kind.
That's right.
You know, hang out with those who are walking the path, who are doing the work. Yeah, fuck all this other shit out here. You know, so that's all I got, folks. But sounds like a good topic. Can't wait to look at the replay.
Yeah, check it out, bro. You're gonna like it. It was fun. All right, brother. Appreciate it. All right, so, all right. Anybody else have any last questions before we get off? I'm gonna just check. And the reason why I always do this is like Demetrius said, as a Luciferian on a left-hand path, you should always ask questions, even if you've asked it before. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because every time you ask a question, you will most likely get more understanding from the answer, even if the answer seems similar. Why? Because your path, the work you're doing, is going to reveal, it's going to reveal more insight. You're gonna receive more gnosis, and it's not gonna always remain the same. Even if the answer seems similar, you'll get more insight to what you're actually hearing. That's the key for asking questions. Luciferians ask questions about everything. More importantly, ask yourself questions. Always ask yourself questions. That's where the most important questions should be directed, is to yourself. Am I growing? Am I understanding? Am I expanding, or am I still repeating these things? Am I still, reliving these things? You should ask yourself every time you do a ritual, ask yourself questions. After you finish the ritual, ask yourself questions. Always do that. Because it's like Demetrius said here, it's like the Matrix. In the Matrix, the more questions Neo asked, the more his programming got fucked up, right? It got obliterated over time. The more he asked, by the way, part 4 is supposed to come out next year, by the way. I'm hyped up. All right, part 4 is supposed to come out. But anyway, every time Neo asked a question, his programming took a hit, okay? The more you ask questions, the more your programming is taking a hit. Okay, always remember that. Ask the more questions you ask of yourself, ask others who are walking this path, the more your programming takes a hit, and that's what you want. You want to be uncomfortable. You want to be uncomfortable. Always remember that this path is not about being comfortable. You want to be totally uncomfortable. You want to be in the storm. You want to be in the chaos, but like Set, always remember this, like Set, right, is in the eye of the storm. In the eye of the storm is the calm while the chaos is going around you, right? That's an example, a principle of you. You are the eye of the storm. You are Set, the eye of the storm, while the chaos is going on around you, meaning the experiences you're going through life that are chaotic, things like that. You want to remain in the center, calm as possible. You want to be the pivot point. I ask people this all the time on the pendulum. Where do you want to be on the pendulum? As the pendulum swings side to side, people often say, I want to be in the middle of the pendulum. Wrong. Because the middle of the pendulum still swings a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Even if it appeared to be stationary, it's still swinging when you start the motion, just a little bit. You want to be the pivot point that's holding the pendulum. That's where you want to be because you control how far the swing goes. Do you understand? That's where you want to be in life, the eye of the storm. Be like Set. I know I kept saying this tonight, but Set, that energy is strong tonight for a reason. Well, I kind of know why, but anyways, bring it to the point. Always stay in the eye of the storm. As your chaos is fluctuating in life, you are the eye of the storm. That is the most important part you have to really understand. Okay? Don't allow yourself to fall victim to your own experiments, because we do this quite often. We create our own experiences, our own experiments, and then we fall for them and forget the lesson that we created it for. We created it to learn a certain lesson, and we get wrapped up in it and we forget all that. And then when we look back, we're like, what the hell? What happened? Nah. Always stay in the center. Always stay in the eye. All right. So last few announcements. I hope y'all studying, those in the Luciferian class. Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday will be your first test. Vampiric class, part 1 is there now. For those who need to catch up, join as soon as possible so you're ready for January when we get to part 2. Part 1 is nice, really good, really nice in itself. Part 2 is going to be amazing. And the Sith challenges, Sith classes are all there on Patreon. All of it is on Patreon. If you want to get down with the Sith, it's there now too. I have a few new people in the Sith, like Star, Raphael, people. They see the challenges and they starting to really challenge themselves even more. And they starting to bring out that warrior energy. And you do realize you need this warrior energy now more than ever, because the world outside of you is getting crazy. And you're going to need that warrior energy more than ever. All right. So keep that in mind. Go on to Patreon, The Eternal Black Flame, patreon.com, The Eternal Black Flame. Check out the classes. Also in January will be a Journey Through the Clip-Off. There's another class that'll be going on simultaneously with the Vampire class. Journey Through the Clip-Off. It's just that. We're going to journey through each shell of the Clip-Off, each cliff or gateway or shell. We're going to journey through it and do even more in-depth work than we've already done. All right. So don't wait though for the Vampiric class sneak up on you and then say, oh, I didn't do part 1. Well, that's up to you. If you want to get in it, get in it. But part 2 is going to be, y'all ain't ready for part 2. That's all I'll say. All right. So I'll talk to y'all in a week and a half. If y'all observing Thanksgiving, if you don't, if you with your family, friends, enjoy your meals, enjoy your family, enjoy your time. It's all good. You don't got to answer to no one what you do. I know I'm gonna eat some food, goddammit. I'm gonna eat some turkey. I'm gonna eat some gravy. I'm gonna have some good old, turkey with the stuffing. I don't give a shit if I believe the shit or not. I'm fucking eating, and y'all shouldn't care what other people think either. All right. So enjoy y'all little holiday and make it count. Make it worth something. Even if you're just spending time with family, do something and enjoy it. All right. Infernal blessings to all. About an hour for the people who missed it. It'll be on YouTube, right?